guys. How many of you know single women? They may have been divorced, they may have been separated, but they're pretty much on their own. They may have had kids, they may have not, but they struggle to make ends meet. They're pretty much on their own, and they work and work and work trying to pay their bills, but many times they fall short. What happens? Their Prince Charming shows up out of nowhere. I'll help you. Well, she's so relieved because he's the nicest guy in the world. He may take her grocery shopping, pay a heavy bill, pay a car payment, but all of a sudden, he's hovering around a lot, to the point where she's very uncomfortable. And all of a sudden, after that, what was once a nice guy starts getting very critical. He asked her, where have you been? Constantly calls her on the phone. Why haven't you called me? Now she's perplexed because although she likes this guy, she may have no romantic interest. And now she's starting to feel smothered. Well, she asked him, she says, listen, we're friends, that's all. Well, she says they're just friends. He had other ideas. Then he puts it point blank. I helped you with this. I helped you with that. And she's up against the wall. Yes, you did, and I appreciate it. And then he's like, you owe me. Now, as time goes on, he's starting to pick her apart constantly to the point where her self-esteem is dropping. She wants away from this guy. Now, the one thing we have discussed, and many channels have discussed, were narcissists. But there are different kinds of narcissists. There's the overt narcissist. Now this one here is just as happy to be an arrogant son of a bitch. They're probably the most common, but they basically do not have an agenda. They're easy to spot. Now you'll have a conversation with an overt narcissist and you'll be like, yeah, you're an ass, and you walk away. The more dangerous of the two is the covert narcissist because they have an agenda. Now, a conversation, if you've ever known one, can go hot and cold. They can be the nicest people in the world. All of a sudden, they can be real tools, but not right away. See, the covert narcissist has to get to know your routine first. They would appear to be doing you favors or helping you out, even though you never once asked, but they will hold that over your head. All of a sudden, you'll be having a conversation with them, and they turn on you. They start digging, and you're getting angrier and angrier and angrier. You want to lash out, but you don't. These are the most dangerous kind, and many of you have dealt with this kind of narcissist before. I have noticed one thing. The Watchtower and Bible Tract Society, as well as other organizations, come under this heading. Covert narcissism. Let's face it, for all of you who came in from the outside, do you remember how it was? Do you remember the love bombing? They were your best friends. They'd always be there for you. They'd do you favors. They would take you around if need be. They would be your best friend forever. Until you don't do exactly what they want. As soon as you start pulling away, because, well, let's face it, we all know how smothering the Kingdom Hall can be. And after a while, if you're not succumbing to the indoctrination, you start to back away. Well, they see this. All of a sudden, they turn. They start bad-mouthing you. You're the subject of car groups. All of a sudden, you're mocked. You're no longer a friend. You're bad association. Now, Jehovah's Witnesses learn this from Watchtower. My Bible instructor was a covert narcissist from the get-go. He was very easy to outmaneuver, but very smothering. And this was the first red flag I should have noticed during my study because he epitomized Watchtower. And he learned well, right to the very end. But I always wondered. Now we know a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are leaving the organization in droves. Now, we've already realized that even pedophiles wake up, and they are infiltrating the XJ dubs as well. Well, so don't narcissists. As As a matter of fact, not all Jehovah's Witnesses or ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are good people. We know that there were Jehovah's Witnesses that were complete asses. Well, the same thing applies to ex-Jehovah's Witnesses as well. And one thing that has been brought up, because I've talked to several of you about it over the years, would Watchtower put a plant out there amongst the XJWs? Of course they would. Why? To throw a wrench into the monkey works, to start to mislead, to start to discredit. And after a while, they kind of are easy to spot. There's something that many of you may not know, but Watchtower has been known to sell its older literature on eBay. So whether you know it or not, they're still getting your donations. So if they're willing to sell their old literature on eBay, they are more than willing to have somebody infiltrate the XJWs. And I have spotted a number of narcissists amongst the XJWs. Now, there was a video was sent to me last week, maybe the week before. I believe the channel was called The Soundtrack of My Mind. I was not familiar with this channel up until I watched the video. Now, what had happened was he had gotten a copyright strike. As a matter of fact, the video was pulled. I still have it. He didn't get the copyright strike from YouTube. He got it from an XJW. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's the bearded Bonnie Rubble in Croatia. Now, to have somebody's video pulled that fast, you have to wonder what kind of backing did he have? Because let's face it, I've seen people complain about other people's videos before. They may be scrutinized, but nothing ever comes of it. But this video was pulled. Now, I watched this video. I couldn't understand why it got a copyright strike, because it had none of Bonnie Rubble's material in it. He was simply discussing him. So now freedom of speech is right out the window. They can now pull your video over your topic of conversation. And Bonnie Rubble was able to make that possible. Now, for those of you who know who I'm talking about, there is a covert narcissist right there. He'll come across like the nicest guy in the world until you cross his path. Now, the thing is, let's face it, and I have mentioned this last week, we all have people out there that are trash-talking us. We all have people out there that dislike us. But the covert narcissist will take it personal. They will lash out. They will do anything to stop the trash-talking. And the thing is, they're usually the ones who keep it on the forefront. Now, Percy Pudwack, we all know him, if you know who I'm talking about. His little situation several years ago may have been swept under the rug if he would stop bringing it up. But he's trying to win people over, and the more he tries to win people over, the more he's losing them. See now, Percy Pudwack, along with Bonnie Rubble, they can never be wrong. They're always in the right. See, there's one thing that you will never hear from a covert narcissist, and that is, I was wrong. I apologize. See, the thing is, the fault is with everybody else, never with them. If you listen to them both very carefully, you'll never hear either one of them take responsibility for their own actions. Now, the bearded dude, I think many of you know his situation. I ought not to talk about his personal business, but is he not the one who keeps bringing it up? Now, the covert narcissist will bring their personal business up looking for sympathy. The problem is, it doesn't always work the way they think it does. Many people will take a step back and what? And they will either disagree with it, they make a comment about it, and then the covert narcissist gets angry. They start lashing out. Now, as far as this one in Croatia and its little lawsuits, most of us just kind of put a deaf ear to haters or people that don't like us, but no, he's got to go have people's videos pulled. He's got to go and bring these people to court, a certain number of people to court. Why? Why? What makes them right or wrong and you right? Simply ignore it like the rest of us do. He was out last week and I caught a portion of his video. I couldn't watch the whole thing, crying about money. He's lost a lot of his following. So money's tight right now. And it's pretty apparent this is how he makes his living. Through YouTube. That's nice. I work for a living. I don't make money at this. He has to have so much money to pay his editor. Well, dude, if money's tight, let your editor go. We're all going through tough times right now. I had a good run for pretty much the last decade. I was living pretty comfortably. The last year and a half, things have gotten tight. And you know, that's just the way it is. You go through good times, you go through bad times. Money's not so easy to come by these days. For everybody. Dude, rather than take advantage of people on YouTube, go and get your fat ass out and get a job. Like I was saying, the few videos I did see of him, he sounds to me like a plant. Because the thing is, what is common knowledge to many, he will shoot down. He'll disagree with. The one whether a watchtower has Masonic roots or not. And obviously they do. And he was one of the first and only XJWs that I heard say no, they have no Masonic roots. Which tells me, is Bonnie Rubble a Freemason? Very possible. There are many out there. I've had a few comment on this channel arguing with me. They obviously don't even know what Freemasons are. But these are the differences between the overt narcissist and the covert narcissist. Many of you know them personally, and they can be very wearing. They can be very wearing to watch, but you can generally see it. When sympathy doesn't go their way, they start to get nasty. They will shoot everybody else down. But that's pretty much all I wanted to bring to your attention, guys. I have a quiet afternoon to look forward to. I may be doing a little traveling in the next few weeks. Maybe not. Maybe next month, but just to let you know, if I'm not around next week, that's why. Anyways, guys, you all have a good day, and I'll be talking to you soon.